Hello, good people, and welcome to another video with Data Independent. My name is Greg, and I run Data Independent, and today we have a very special topic. So I'm sure all of you have heard about NFTs and the rise of them, and the most popular NFT, at least in Q1 of 2021, is Beeple's Everydays, the first 5,000 days. Now, what is the first 5,000 days? Well, this artist named Beeple, and let me give you a quick image of who Beeple is, and there you go. That's the guy who just sold an artwork for $69 million. He every single day for 5,000 days, or I guess 5,068 days, he made a different piece of artwork. And you can go on his website and you can see all these artworks. And so he does different rounds of them. But here's one of the rounds, and some of the stuff is pretty cool, actually. I mean, some of it's simple. This one looks like this guy's swimming in poop. But you scroll down, and there's some cool stuff in here. And it looks like his main tool of choice is Cinema 4D, which is super interesting. Maybe that's a fun little side project to go learn some of that, and you can sell some of your own artwork. But so Beeple sold this piece called The First 5,000 Days. Now, the first 5,000 days, let me zoom in on here for you, is basically all these pieces of work put together into one image. And then this guy, his name is, or it could be a girl, we don't really know. It is pseudo-anonymous. This person named Meta Coven, they bought 5,000 Days, this piece of artwork, for $69 million via Christie's. That's the interesting part. Now, what we can do here is we can actually combine this topic with Pandas. And I want to extract the offer history that is listed here on OpenSea. Now, OpenSea is basically just a place where you can view NFTs. And so the largest NFT marketplace, okay, great. You can see what the offers were for 5,000 days on OpenSea here, and we can start to do some data analysis of that if you want to. Now, the reason why I'm choosing OpenSea is, well, because they have a very nice API. So receiving a single contract, that's not the one. I want to do retrieving a single asset. So really, you can just query their free, and you don't need to authenticate API, pass in your parameter information, and then you can get some order information to come back out of it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's go query some NFTs and see what we can get out of it. So as always, I'm going to import pandas, matplotlib, and requests. I probably could put the requests within the pandas library, but I'm just going to do it here because it's easy. Import all of those. And then here's where I'm going to call the OpenSea API. And it's basically just, I want to get a single asset right here, and I'm going to pass it the asset or the contract and then the asset ID. And you can get both of those things through the URL right here. So you'll notice that there is the contract and then there is the asset ID. And if you want to see or the token ID, and if you want to see the specific parameters for that, you just go check out the documentation. Okay, great. Now I have this, and it's going to go get that for me. And then I'm going to say r.text so you can see what's going on. And you can see it's this big, long, gross, doesn't make a ton of sense, just random string. Now, whenever I get something like this, what I always like to do is you could either do JSON pretty within your notebook here, but for me, honestly, it's just so much easier if I just go to Google and type in Json Viewer, and then I go to the top JSON Viewer right here. I paste in that big long text that we had, and I go view. And then what's nice is that it gets you basically a cleaned up version where you can explore this really easily. So here's what that JSON is showing. You can see here that we have the name of the picture, we have a description, we have some URLs, we have who is the owner. We see that the owner is currently Meta Coven, like we were talking about. Okay, cool. But the important part that I want to go through right now is orders. So these orders right here represent the orders that are listed under offers right here. Okay, so you can see that there's 11 of them, and you can open up each one, and you can see that there's a whole lot of different information on them. And what I'm going to do via Pandas is extract this information and then make a data frame that makes sense of it. Great. So we have this r.text, wonderful, but it's big and gross, and so I'm going to put that away. What we're going to use is, you can see here, it's a little spoiler, I'm going to do r.json. So we're going to do r.json, and it's cleaner, and Pandas can read it a lot easier. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do or pd.dataframe. I'm going to take that r.json that we were just looking on up there, and I'm going to just go ahead and do a little shortcut and just pull out the orders part. And this orders part represents the orders part right here, because that's the key within the top level JSON there. Okay, so df.orders, and let's just see the head of this so you can see what we're working with. And so now all of a sudden you get the rows. And so there's only 5 rows because I called df.head, but we have our create date. We have a whole bunch of other information. And you can see here there's some columns that aren't even showing because there's too many columns, because there's a lot of information. There's a bunch of identifiers here. We're not going to use any of those, but that's what it looks like. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a copy of the data frame. And let me split this out just so we can talk about it one by one. And so I'll do df.head. And so you can see here it's the exact same thing as the df.orders, except I I took a subset of the columns. So create date, order hash, current price, maker. And why? Because these are the interesting ones. Create date is when this order was created for this specific piece of art. Order hash is the unique identifier. Current price, you can see here that it is a ton of figures. We will get to that in a second. And then maker has some information on the person who made the order, which is why I wanted to pull it out. Next thing I'm going to do is you'll see here that this maker, the column is actually a dictionary. So I want to get this top names. I don't want to get the username. I don't want to get a dictionary. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to say, hey, on maker, apply a function. It's a Lambda function. And I want you to go get user and then get username, which should get me top names right here. I'll run that and let's see what we have. It's going to give me a hard time because I need to redo the whole thing. There it is. And so you see create date, order hash, current price, and now maker is just top names because I extracted it from right here. Great. Now current price, this one's a little funky. I was hoping to find a converter on there, but in the JSON, but I didn't see one. So you can see here that we have this big long list of numbers, and basically we need to turn it into human readable form. Now this is actually listed in Ethereum. So that is how many Ethereum coins the offer was made for. It doesn't have the translation rate, but for future videos, you can look back at historical prices and see what this was in USD. We'll just do the first one so you guys can see what that means. But basically, current price, turning it into a float because currently it's a string. I'm dividing it by a very large number. I'm not even going to try to figure out what that means. It's a lot of zeros. And then I'm going to round it to 5 so that I can get rid of scientific notation and I can just see the first 5 digits. And let's do df.head. So you can see here now we have our current prices, which are much cleaner for us. And this is in Ethereum, remember? So let's just look at what the current Ethereum price is. Looks like it is 1797 right now. So I'm going to go 1797 times, looks like that one was 22. So 39,000. So this bid right here is for $39,000 as of today, made by Topmaker. And then the last thing I'll do is I will sort these values. And so I can see the most recent bids. And here we are for Beeple's 5,000 work price, 5,000 day price. We have our create date, we have our order hash, we have our current price, and we have who made the name. Now, what you can do from here is you can go ahead and visualize this, or you could set an alert and set a monitor to see if there's any more offer prices on it. But because this one was only 39,000 and the most recent sale price was 69 million, I don't think there's going to be any action on this one for quite a while. Anyway, so that is an intro to the OpenSea API. Very, very easy. It's not very hard on the data side, but it's more on the interesting side. And if you want to see more videos on NFTs and how to explore them, let me know. Happy to do more, and have a good day.